Hey guys, HappyCattyCrypto here, and welcome back to the channel for another XRP update. So there's a lot of stuff going on with XRP as usual, but there is some crucial information floating about alongside some bullish information, and then also a little bit of bearish information, which we can kind of disprove what they're saying about this kind of like panic sell-off. But we'll get to that at the end. Let's go over what is currently going on. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Drop a like, drop a comment on the way out. It's really going to help us, and it's really going to help you stay informed as well by hitting that notifications bell. So let's bring up this first article, and this is on nasdaq.com. I'll leave links to this so you can go through it yourselves. So the investors awaited the SEC's remedy-related reply brief. The SEC must file the reply brief by Monday, May 6th. That's today, and then a redacted version by Wednesday, May 8th. The redacted version, I guess, is what will be given to us, the public domain. So it may be the final court filings in the SEC versus Ripple case. After the reply brief filing, Judge Annalise Torres will deliberate and rule on the punishment for breaking US securities law. In July 2023, Judge Torres ruled that Ripple breached Section 5 of the US Securities Act for failing to register XRP as a security in sales to institutional investors. There was a significant disparity between the SEC and Ripple's expectations. So we've got the penalty, which is 2 billion versus 10 million, and it's currently being disputed. So let's go over what they're saying here in the article. So Ripple argued that a civil penalty should not exceed $10 million in the remedy-related opposition brief. Significantly, Ripple cited the 3 tiers of Section 20D of the Securities Act, stating Tier 1, penalties for general violations. Tier 2, penalties for violations involving fraud, deceit, and manipulation or intended and reckless disregard for regulatory laws. Tier 3, penalties for violations involving culpable mental state and resulting in direct or indirect substantial losses or resulting in the significant risk of substantial losses to a person or persons. Ripple highlighted that it should be a Tier 1 case, saying that the SEC never accused Ripple of fraud, deceit, or manipulation. The opposition brief also referred the dismissal of charges against Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse vis-a-vis reckless disregard of a regulatory environment. So Judge Torres must also decide whether Ripple continued breaching US security laws after the December 2020 complaint. The SEC justified its call for a $2 billion penalty and injunction by arguing Ripple continued to sell XRP to institutional investors. However, Ripple argued that XRP sales were accredited investors or via ODL contracts. ODL contracts prevent profits and losses. So this is a really important article because not only will this case set a precedent for like many cases to come in the future, but if I was to say, and this is like a really good point for the XRP lawyers, is to use TFL and Luna as an example, because that is clearly a Tier 3 and Tier 2 case. Tier 2 case is a little bit, but I definitely would say it's a Tier 3 case for TFL and Luna. That's serious stuff, and they can use that as an example. And I would say from my perspective, which doesn't stand for a lot because I don't have any legal diplomas or degrees or anything, but Tier 1, penalties for general violations, because the majority of the damage caused to XRP itself was done by the SEC. This could all have been done in a kind of like a chivalrous manner, with a little bit of chivalry, a little bit of politeness, a lot of transparency, and just general gentlemanship towards one another, I would say. But that wasn't the case. They went for the jugular. They went through everything they could. And honestly, they've been so reckless the way that they've done this, they've gone about this, and how the SEC consistently tries to place itself at the center of absolutely everything that happens in the crypto space, be it inside the United States or outside the United States. And we see that with them trying to get jurisdictional extradition with DK coming to the United States or going to South Korea. So like I was saying, this is all really good stuff. We should definitely pay attention to it, because when articles like this are kind of being pushed and shoved around, it's very interesting, because what we do know is, if we quickly blip back actually to this article, because it has the fines in here, and we take a look at these fines, they're pretty big, right? They're pretty big. And the comparison of 2 billion versus 10 million is substantial. You would say they are football fields apart. Even some would say they are like galaxies apart when it comes to paying these fines, which is more or less like the closing act of this whole thing. As we can see here in this article, final court filings in the SEC Ripple case, it may just be the final court, everything. Okay, so now we look at this article and we say to ourselves, well, they're saying that whales moved 28 million XRP before the Ripple versus SEC's May 6th deadline. And they're kind of saying, oh, some are seeing it as a sell-off due to legal uncertainties, while others view it as part of Ripple's liquidity strategy. And I really do think this is part of their strategy. And they're just preparing for what they know is going to be some kind of a fine. Some kind of a fine that's going to be way over $1 million, whether it be 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. But I definitely am sure it's not going to be 1 billion. It's kind of like what they're doing with TFL, asking them for way over 5 billion in fines, etc., etc. But when I see this, we can kind of dispute this, and this mysterious whale is probably just one of the XRP wallets that have not been activated yet, or it's been used for certain things in the past. Now, what we need to do quickly before we go over to the price and sort of speak about what's going on over there is take a look at what they're doing over in Japan. Now, I've been a huge advocate for XRP in Japan. I've traveled there a lot. I've seen how positive they are about it. It's more broadly accepted than Bitcoin out there. And that's saying something, right? Because BTC is like the number one, it's like the gold standard of crypto, but not in Japan. So Ripple XRP's ledger is making significant inroads in Japan, while Kronos aims for higher reaching goals, and BlockDAG gears up to launch the beta version of its X1 mining app on June 1st. So this is one of those sort of like multi-articles. So they are speaking about a few different things in there. I kind of wanted to point this out before I start reading any further. But the foothold in Japan, right? So Ripple themselves, they have strategically partnered with Hashkey DX to deploy the XRP ledger in Japan. This is a huge move from my perspective. A move that has maintained XRP's price stability above 50 cents. This partnership seeks to embed Ripple solutions into Japan's extensive banking and corporate network, likely boosting its adoption and utility. And remember, in Japan, they've distinguished that XRP isn't a security, and China are now saying that BTC, if you haven't caught the video today, that BTC is actually property, and it's more like property over there. Legislation is unclear. Check the video out. So despite the recent market downturns, this expansion might strengthen XRP's global market position. However, XRP currently shows a downtrend, with technical indicators such as the RSI and MACD pointing to possible further downclines. So a very important point in both of those two articles we went over. We've got bullish news to start, we've got bearish, but now let's take a look at the chart. Let's take a look at what's really going on, because a lot of these news articles, right, they are zoomed right in on the day, on the 5-minute chart. They're like, oh, it's down 10%. And it's like, dude, this is crypto. We used to like 1000% bloodbaths. I'm looking at XRP on a very, 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 very long time scale. I'm young. I've got the time, and I know where this thing's going. I know what it does. I understand it. And that's very important when you're investing in something, is to actually understand what you're investing in, understand what its intentions are, what it intends to do, what it intends to replace, what it intends to be overall. And when I'm looking at this on the day view, we can see a clear trend line that started forming back in May, June 2022. And since then, although there's been a lot of ups and downs, and to me, right, my advice is to have 2 bags in crypto. Have your main bag that you just hold on to, you add all of your long distance sort of holds in there, your real kind of blue chips, and then you have a bag that you just play with, a couple $1,000. And you try and play these trades in between, because although we're moving on this trend line, right, and this is really important, because I'm looking at this overall, but I'm also looking to make a little bit of money, maybe leverage trading, maybe shorting, going long, whatever. I'm just one individual person. I don't really have a huge effect on the market whatsoever. So when it comes down to bite and crunch. I'm just looking to make money wherever I can. But them saying there's like this huge exit and the exit liquidity, whales are moving and this is bearish. I don't see anything bearish about what XRP is doing at the moment. Strong trend line, a lot of dollar cost averaging signals here. If you're playing that more long-term play like me, these are really good to see. But then you've also got these opportunities, like I was saying, on these little DCA out signals where you can get maybe sometimes 20, 30, 40, 50, sometimes 100% if you catch it back here during one of these crazy moments. You just don't know what's going to happen. But what we all know is going to happen is XRP in itself ripple the whole bubble, right? XRPL, the ledger, everything is eventually going to be like Google. And that's like my current understanding and current thinking of this. And their roadmap internally is that they aim to be the Google of crypto, where everything is Google. If you want to write a document, you can go on Google and do it. If you want to, I mean, the authenticator for most of your cryptocurrency apps is run by Google. And that is what XRP are intending to be. So imagine you could have bought stocks, for example, in Google back during the beginning of the .com era when we were all sat on our computers on MSN, Bebo, playing RuneScape with your friends or Habba Hotel, whatever you were playing on in the 90s. If you could have invested in Google back then, would you have? Of course you would. And that's my understanding of XRP. I'm very bullish on the months ahead, but more importantly, I'm very bullish as to what's going to happen with these finds. What we do know is XRP has, I would say, more than just the strength to weather this. They've probably weathered one of the worst attacks in crypto, and they've come out of it on the flip side. And these people only know pain. You only know pain as an XRP holder. So when we start to move up, it's going to be uber euphoric for you guys. And then it will keep moving up and everybody else will want to jump in on your bubble. And before you know it, you're at $10 a coin. The XRP ledger's totally live. Japan's blowing everything up and we're all going to the moon together. So yeah, make what you will of that. Other than that, guys, if you're new here, subscribe, drop a comment, drop a like on the way out, hit the notifications bell. It's really going to help you. If you're wondering what this algorithm that you can see here on the screen with the dollar cost average in and out signals with the bullish and bearish momentum signals, there are links to this in the description. It's 20% off at the moment, and this works on any coin on TradingView across board. It works on stocks as well. If you're leverage trading, it works and it adapts itself depending on what your trading time frame is on. If you're looking for a good tool during this bull run that you can rely on, that's not an emotionally tied friend that's telling you to buy something and sell it here. Instead, just relying on indicators to get in and out when it says it's possibly best to. But remember, nothing's foolproof in the crypto game. Be careful. Trade safe, beware of scammers, doppelgangers, anybody pretending to be me. Links to Patreon in the description. We do a $2,500 monthly giveaway, and there's only 30 people in there. Okay, the membership is $12 and you get access to so much on top of alpha calls, the Discord, a huge community, but that giveaway is pretty substantial. So if you don't want to miss out on that, check that out. Links to that in the description, and stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.